Hi, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be sharing about the two different hotels that we stayed at here during our time in Nice. We are in our final 3 days.
Right, 3 days.
3 days, and we are about to head over to have lunch at the place on the beach.
Right, that we can never remember the name.
Never remembered the name. But that's wonderful, and the food is good. Not only is it a beautiful location, we highly recommend. I'll put the name in the description or down below. And whenever you're in Nice, we would recommend you absolutely go and have lunch there, because it's just so beautiful to sit on the Mediterranean and eat lunch, and their food is really good too.
But if you go there in the summertime, make sure you have a reservation, because it was fairly crowded.
Absolutely.
When we were there, and it's February. So even though it's a warm February, Nice has many more, probably 5-6 times fold the amount of people that are here right now.
Yeah, definitely make a reservation. And so we're going to share also 2 hotel recommendations that you may want to consider if you are considering a trip to Nice, or if you've been to Nice and you're returning to Nice and curious about some potential places that you might enjoy. We have 2 places that we stayed that are very distinctly different from each other, but have positives and negatives to each. We would recommend both of them, even though there are some things that, at least for me, that I didn't really care for relative to one of the hotels, but it was still a great location, great hotel.
Yeah, both of them are located very well. The one that KJ is talking about was only 7 rooms, and run by one man and kind of an assistant that cleaned the rooms. And he always had his dog there. He went nowhere without his dog.
Cote.
And there was very much Victor Hugo themed.
It's the Victor Hugo Hotel, by the way, and there are 2, so not to be confused with the other one. This one is located on Victor Hugo Boulevard. I believe it's 59 Victor Hugo Boulevard, and it's run by Gilles and his little dog Cosette.
And one of the great advantages of this hotel is that it's literally across the street from the tram, and it's probably 70 or 80 steps from the front gate, and you're at the tram, but you can go anywhere you want to go. And if you know anything about Nice and the tram system is terrific. It's inexpensive, it's clean, it can take you all over the city. From this particular hotel, it was one stop to Juan Medicine, and then if you wanted to go down to Plaza Messina, it was another single stop by changing trams, and the trams come about every 8 to 10 minutes, so there's never a long time to wait.
And it's not like your typical hotel. It's very, for lack of a better description, like family-like, in that Cosette's trotting around, so you need to enjoy dogs, you need to like dogs, and it's basically run by Gilles and a couple of assistants that he has that clean the rooms. And it's located in a residential apartment. Residential, I think it's a mix of residential and like there are doctor's offices in there, so it's in an actual
an
apartment
excellent
building.
Neighborhood, just a beautiful
very
neighborhood.
Good neighborhood.
In front of behind the station for the tram is this block-sized park with all kinds of places for kids to go, dogs to go. It's kind of as residential as you can be in a very cityfied area. And the hotel was extremely safe. You have to go through 3 levels of security to get in, and incredibly quiet.
Very quiet.
So my only thought that might be construed as negative was that I had a little bit of problems with the Wi-Fi when we were both on the Wi-Fi at the same time, But I mentioned it to Gilles, and he had someone out that day, and I never had another problem since. So the point being that because the owner is actually there most of the time, if there is a problem, it gets fixed pretty quickly.
And I never had a problem. And also, we were able to get, I guess you would call it a suite, in that we had our main bedroom and then we had a separate office area, which was really important for both of us, especially for me because I work from here. So I need a private space where I can be online and it can be quiet. And this was perfect because it was very quiet. That's the biggest struggle we run into with some of these places is, number one, the Wi-Fi is not strong. We actually had to leave one of the hotels in Servoz, which is right near Chamonix, and we moved to another hotel because the Wi-Fi didn't work. So it was excellent. It was really great for that purpose.
And by the way, very inexpensive.
I think it was, I want to say it was 84 euros a night. And of course it's out of season. It's not in season. I think it's maybe like 184 euros when it's season, but very, very reasonably priced.
And if you are someone that likes to catch the news from back home, there's about 5 American channels that are the international version of them: CNN International, Bloomberg, the BBC, the All France channel, but in English, and there are a few other American channels that were just normal American channels. So we go to a lot of hotels here where you can't get anything that's in English, and I like to at least catch up on the news every day.
So let's move on to hotel number 2. This is a hotel. It's called Hotel La Ville. La Ville?
Yes, I believe so.
This is what happens when you get older. We can't even remember the names of the hotel.
It's not just older. Just think of how many hotels we've been in the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
We've been
in a lot of hotels.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 hotels in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
6 that I can think of.
So it is, we think, Hotel La Villa. I think that's what it's called. And it's beautiful, like a boutique, very nice upscale boutique hotel.
To the point that they have private secure parking that you do have to pay extra for, and you need to book it in advance.
In advance.
It's 22 euros a day to park there, but it makes life so much easier if you have a car to park there, and it's very, very modern. It looks like it was just built. I'm sure it wasn't, but it looks like it was just built. And just a beautiful place. Beautiful
location, 1 block from the promenade, from the beach, and just, you'll see, we'll show you the pictures. It's just a beautiful, beautiful property. You're going to pay a lot more for this property, though. I think we paid 180 or 175 euro, around there. I'll put it in the description exactly what we paid. But you're going to pay upwards of the high 200s, even into the 300s during season, potentially even more, depending upon the type, the room type you select.
And to give you an idea, relatively speaking, the Negresco, which is the most famous hotel in Nice, the cheapest room is 900 euros a night. So
at least based upon what we saw.
That's what they have posted.
What they have posted when we walked by.
So, relatively speaking, this hotel is like a block and a half from the Negresco. It does not overlook the ocean the way, or the sea the way the Negresco does, but you're literally a block away.
Right. And something to note about the difference between the 2 hotels as well is that the Victor Hugo, the breakfast is included, which is really nice and convenient. I mean, it's very simple. You go into like a breakfast area. It has very limited seating. I think what most people do, which is what we did, is grab our coffee and grab our croissant or whatever it is. They have an assortment continental breakfast and you just bring it to your room. There is a little bit of seating in there. And then at the La
Can I
Vie-
just say something else about that?
Sure.
You have to keep in mind at the Victor Hugo that it's a large apartment that was converted to 6 rooms or 7 rooms. He said 7, but the map only showed 6. But it was converted in 1908. He bought it about 15 years ago. So there are tight areas. The breakfast area is one of them.
Small.
But you can get everything that you want there.
And it's included.
And
That's
it's
the best
included.
part.
And he has croissants and chocolate croissants and yogurt and cereal and Nespresso machine and anything, hard-boiled eggs. I'm sure I'm missing several things, but you're not going to get a cooked breakfast, but you're going to get a pretty good breakfast.
And the other hotel, the breakfast is €22 per person, which we didn't. We stayed there for one night when we arrived, and then we stayed at the Victor Hugo for how many nights
6
were we
nights.
there? 6 nights, and now we're back at the La Villa for 2 nights because we were contemplating going back to Lyon for a couple of nights, but we're tired.
Well, and we also we changed our plans in the middle
We
of
did.
this trip. We were supposed to be going to Cotignac, which I'm sure I said wrong, but because KJ will correct me in the subtitles, I'm sure.
Cotignac.
No, she didn't even wait for the subtitles. But anyway, Cotignac would have been a 5.5-hour drive one way from here, and we just decided we were getting tired. When all is said and done, this is going to be a 22-day trip. And one of the things that's been a hallmark of our trips is that we go to one city and either drive or train from there and then come back the same night. Where this trip, we spent a couple of nights, 3 nights in Lyon, then I think 4 nights in Montrose, then we went to Zervos for 1 night, Chamonix for 2 or 3 nights, and then we headed to Nice, where we've had 1 night in the hotel, the La Ville Hotel, then the 6 nights in Victor Hugo, now back to La Ville, and then we're going to spend the night at the airport hotel in Lyon, so that on Tuesday when we fly out, it's as painless as it can be.
Yeah, and we'll show you photos of the hotel because it looks very beautiful. It's the NH Hotel at the airport, literally right across from the airport. You can just walk right across the street from what I understand, and so that's as convenient as can be if you're going to Lyon. So I think that about covers it for those 2 hotels that we wanted to share with you. Are you ready to go eat another spectacular lunch on the Mediterranean?
I am ready.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoy the photos of the 2 hotels we enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
Bye.
A bientôt.